All right, welcome to our Zoom, everyone, this afternoon. I am so excited about being here with all you guys and all these fabulous women. We are here with 4 senior rubies and 2 diamonds in Plexus. So this is like a rock star group of women, and I feel so privileged to be part of this group. So our focus today is going to be on time management. So we get a lot of questions from busy mamas. How in the world do you do the business part of Plexus and do justice to your family? There's also a lot of homeschooling families that are part of Plexus, and so that brings additional questions. How do you do it? So we're going to answer some very practical questions today. We're going to give you some real live tips and just share from what we do as women. And all of us have children. There are, is it 36 children between all of us? 6 women, so we have a lot of kids between all of us. So we're going to talk to you about what our day looks like, what we have found that works for us, and you'll see differences between us. But I hope no matter if you're a working mom, if you're a stay-at-home mom, no matter where you find yourself, I'm excited for you to be here because I think you'll really find some great things to help you in your Plexus journey. So we are going to get started. Jennifer Harmon is going to lead us out. She is a beautiful homeschooling mama of 6 children, lives in Georgia. Right? I was thinking Georgia. So, Jennifer, you can lead out, and we're excited to hear from you.
Well, thank you so much, Claria. I am super excited and honored to be here on the call with all these fabulous ladies. Now, you guys, if you know me well, you know that time management is not a strong point of mine. And it's really something that I've really had to learn a lot of, and I'm still growing every day. But so we do have 6 kids, like Rita said, and we homeschool. And the first thing, I just wrote down a couple of tips that has really helped me. And the first thing that I want to say to everybody out there is give yourself grace. Oh my gosh, that's one thing I've learned. And you know, it's so easy to get lost on Facebook and you look at, if you're like me, I only like to put the positive. I don't want to put my drama on Facebook. I want to put positive and encouraging. So if you look at my Facebook page, you're thinking, wow, she's got it all together, but that's so not true. And so first of all, just know that I doubt there's anybody that has it all together every day, all the time. So just give yourself grace and be realistic. But so some things that have helped me was, number one, getting a calendar. And I brought some little like visuals for us. Okay, so a calendar for me, I do not do calendars, y'all. Hey, I have my baby that's supposed to be taking a nap right now. So I do not do calendars. I learned very quickly with Plexus, I need a calendar. So I love my little Erin Condren from lots of recommendations. And so it's easy for me, he's waving to everyone. It's easy for me, get down. It's easy for me to, you know, look at I'll open my calendar, I keep it lit on the counter, and I can look at my day. And so, like, you know, I've got a call, I've got a Zoom event, and so I know, just really glance, you know, what do I need to do today? What's my focus on today? And use the little stickers that come in the calendars. So that's been really, really beneficial to me. So a calendar, I would say, number one, use a calendar. That's been really a time saver. Another thing for me has been, this is so like you know, all you crafty people are going to die, but this is just a 3-ring binder. And it's in it, I sat down one day, y'all, and just wrote a ton of menus. You know, just like what we like to eat for breakfast, what we like to eat for lunch, what we like to eat for dinner. And so, and then on Saturday night or Saturday afternoon, I sit down and I make a menu for the week, you know, based on, you know, what we want to do. Go to the grocery store, get the and so, and then 2 of those nights though, y'all, I really try to use crock pot or the Instapot. And if you haven't done that, you need to do that. But really, I mean, these things seem so simple, but yet sometimes even the simple things just kind of like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that, or the importance of that. So I really encourage you to do that. That's really helps me to plan for crock pot nights. Menu plan. and just keep it all together in a little binder somewhere. And then another one that's helped me a lot is to get up early in the morning. And I haven't been doing this as diligently as I should, but the last few weeks I've really been dedicated. I've just kind of like made up my mind is what I'm going to do. And getting up early before the kids get up, and I kind of get, my quiet time down, and I get my thoughts for the day, and just getting up early. And if you're already getting up super early, then maybe just stay up 30 minutes later. But I know that seems like a no-brainer, but y'all, that really makes a big difference, because ultimately, I mean, what are our goals with this? If you want to treat this as a hobby, then maybe 15 or 20 minutes a day is going to cut it. But if this is going to be a business for you, if you're going to go diamond, I mean, you're going to have to strategize. And so you're going to have to set goals. You're going to have to do the hard things. And that may be getting up 30 or 45 minutes early, or staying up 30 or 45 minutes later at night. So, these are not really just like, like huge tips, but they've just been things that have worked for me and things that I've learned along the way. So hopefully they've been a help to someone out there. And okay, so next up, I am so excited to hear how in the world Shelly Nisley, Diamond Ambassador, does it all with her huge team and then her beautiful family of 5. So Shelly, just tell us how you managed to do your time.
Thank you. I sometimes feel like I worked, and got to Diamond, and then finally decided it's time to manage things. So that's my little disclaimer, because I did from the beginning said, and my team has heard this before, said, to my husband, can we give this a year? It kind of turned into 2 years then of really working and making sacrifices so that we could reach this goal of, it was Emerald at the time and then kind of morphed into Diamond. But so sacrifices for me personally, I tried to make them myself as much as possible, more than requiring them of my husband and children. But we were all kind of in agreement that that's something that we're willing to do. So for myself, it was not a lot of leisure time. No movies, no frivolous reading. Everything was like business focused. And then I love to cook and prepare beautiful meals. But I gave a lot of that up for the year, and my family ate some ridiculous food, just like bare, like rice and something, or rice and maybe nothing. So it was just a lot like that, really simple meals. My husband Phil kicked in a lot with that too. He likes to grill, so he would do that kind of thing. And then, so yeah, I tried to make the sacrifices myself, but then also involving my children where I could. So as we would hear people that needed better health, we would pray for them, and the children would know that I'm going to contact them, or people would be contacting me because of the posts that I did, and I'd tell the children, let's pray for this person. They really need a miracle in their life, and maybe Plexus can be part of that. So involving them in that, and then somewhat in the meetings and events that we would do. Although I did just have a baby soon after, right before I really started working the business. So Phil would often stay home with the younger children as well to get them to bed. So those are just kind of, that's how it looked at the beginning. Later, and I would encourage anyone to do this earlier than I did. I think I did it maybe when I was senior Ruby. Actually, sorry, that's not true. I did have someone cleaning my house when I first started the business once or twice a month. And then later, when I hit senior Ruby, I really started looking for help in the afternoons, because I do homeschool as well. So I would have, right now I have 3 girls, 3 days where a girl comes in. It's 2 or 3 girls a week. And they help me so much. Like Tuesday, someone canceled, and I thought, oh, it's fine, I can do this. And by the end of Tuesday, it's like, oh, I need, my person. So that is so helpful. And I love to see girls on my team who are just gold and senior gold doing that already, like 1 afternoon a week, dedicating to their big work time. They do their consistent work through the week, but having 1 day a week where they get someone to watch their children. And I say, that's not just because you have a business. Like, I feel moms need that anyway. So it's a plus that you can be working your business, and having that alone time anyway. So, or meeting with someone, whatever it takes. Just wanted to look real quick here. Yes, and I would agree with you, Jennifer, about writing things down. I have a cute little planner like you do too. But another thing that has helped me super much is just a boring old bullet journal. Like whenever something comes to your mind, just writing it down. Because if I have thoughts swirling, oh, I should contact that customer, I should get in touch with this ambassador, I should do this for my child, I should do that for my husband, and it's just swirling up there, it really makes my brain feel fragmented. So if I just start to write it down, just in no particular order, but then I can go back and, you know, organize it if I need to. But basically, I most times just work off of that bullet list, and that can really be helpful too. So yeah, I would say don't try to do it all yourself. And one last tip, so employ people, get your children to work. Hire a teenage girl or a 20-something girl. Those are my favorite because they can drive and work well. And then the last thing I would say is don't try to be perfect. Some people are super great homemakers, and I feel like in order for them sometimes to make their Plexus business work, they have to let that go a little bit, that perfection go. For me, I'm not always not a diehard keep my house perfect. For me, it's been learning to manage my time a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how to differentiate there, but yeah, I've seen people try to keep it all together, try to keep it perfect, and I'd say just relax a little bit and just work it for at least a season and see how it goes. So I will pass it on. Ooh, Clarita, are you up next?
I think I am. I'll go for it.
Sorry, I didn't see you there.
Yes, and I don't know, but it feels like so much has been said already that I agree with, I've learned in, and I, by nature, myself, am not a amazing time manager. And I was just talking to Patrick this morning, actually, we were talking about our day, and I said it's actually kind of hilarious and super humbling that I even get to be on a panel about time management, because I just am not a rock star at this at all. And then he reminded me, he was like, you know, that is one area, though, of personal growth that I've seen in you. And I think sometimes we are super hard on ourselves, and we don't realize some of those things that we grow in and the amazing opportunity that we have with Plexus to actually improve in some of these things that are weaknesses, or as it was either Kristen or Melissa at convention called them, instead of calling the weaknesses, I'm blanking now, but a positive term for a weakness. And I feel like that is something that I'm still learning. And for me, I felt like I could slide along through silver, and about when I hit gold is when it was like, in order to keep doing this, I'm going to have to sit down and really manage time, manage family, because we all want to be successful wives and mothers, first of all. And if we want to do this business, we're going to have to really hone in some of those time slots that we have, the nooks and crannies, like they say. And I don't know if I'm the only one here maybe that's not a homeschool mom. I did homeschool up until 2 years ago. And in my mind, I felt like when I send the kids to school, I'm going to have this wide open time for Plexus. Not true. I feel like it is just different management skills that I have to have. My kids are gone for a part of the day, but my work still has to happen as a wife and mother. And for me, I drive my kids to school, and so that's a 4-hour block of my day, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. And so I've had to start, one huge thing that has been a help to me is I do all of my calling schedules in that driving time. I have a huge block of time before the kids get into the vehicle, but then even when they're in there, they know if they give me that block of time, after that, then I don't have any more calls scheduled. So that has been super helpful for me, is just finding those times when it works for me. It's kind of mindless driving, so I'm not have to think about where I'm going. I can be safe because I can have my earbuds in my ears and still be able to have a conversation and think. So that has been super helpful for me. Another thing is, my love language is quality time. So that means I love to give time to my husband and my kids when they're here, like full on time. And there had been, with our move, we just recently made a cross country move. And I felt like some of that, like I was compromising my time. I was swimming, trying to stay above water to try to get it all done. And my husband and I have kind of found Sunday evenings is our date evenings. And it doesn't have to be going away, but often it is. We'll hit a coffee shop and we'll give ourselves half hour of look each other in the eye and really catch up. And then we have our computers along and we pull them up and work together side by side for an hour on our computers. And that's when I love to do a lot of my, if I'm scheduling my social media posts, which is something I would highly recommend. I do that on Sunday evenings. I use either Tiny Torch or Buffer, are both great social media platforms where you can go in and you can actually schedule Instagram and Facebook posts out of head, and you can tell it the time of day you want it to post and the day you want it to post. And then during the week, if you have something that you want to stick up, it's fine, but you're not in your mind scrambling, what are 3 posts today I have to put up? So that has been super helpful and super time saving for me. It kind of clears that one area out of my brain that I don't have to, try to figure out every day. Another huge part for me, and why does it take getting desperate to do this, is just maximizing the power that I have in prayer over my day and my time. I feel like that's probably a journey God has me on right now. And it's one of those things, like, I knew this all my life, but when I really start to incorporate it, it's earth-shaking, like, for me and for my kids and for my team. So maximize it. We've got a powerhouse with prayer, and just to spend, even if it's not that I don't have an hour or half hour, it's those, again, nooks and crannies. Somebody comes to mind and really, or God just brings somebody to me today that I can talk to or encourage, and then act on that when you hear it. More of like household things. One thing that I do, and this may not be feasible for everybody, but instead of waiting for a big laundry day, I do 1 load of laundry a day. So I just make sure I get that 1 load in. It doesn't take long to do 1 load a day, and that never really backs up. So that for me has been pretty amazing, and the kids can fold it when they come home, so I have it washed and dried, and then they can help me fold it and put it away. There's another silly little thing, I guess. I don't know, this is kind of a funny day for me to be on this Zoom. So I had a Zoom plan this morning with my team, and some of my team I'm sure is on here chuckling, and ended up having a haircut appointment, hair and color, first time with the stylist at 8:30 this morning, thinking, oh, it's plenty of time to be on a 10:30, 11, it was 11 o'clock Zoom. I was in that chair until 12:55, guys. Okay, so which is like 1 o'clock my time, 2 o'clock your time. So 5 minutes before I was supposed to be on the Zoom, I was getting up out of that chair. Feels like my time management skills like flew out the window there. But you just have to give yourself grace. Like Jennifer said, like, roll with it. Obviously, I'm very relatable and duplicatable, guys. Come on, you can do this, okay? You can be in the chair for hours. She did a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with it, so it's all good. But at the end of the day, give yourself grace and pick it up tomorrow if it feels like your day, went way different than you planned, or maybe a kid has a need that wasn't there in the beginning of the day, or your meal may have not gone as planned. We're moms and we're wives, and we're here to support each other, first of all, and be there for our families. And what happens with our businesses, it's just a big, fat, huge blessing from there. So super honored to be here with these rock stars. And I'm going to announce Laura, who is our beautiful California girl. I think, 4 children, Laura? Homeschool mom, 4 kids. And we got to meet for the first time at convention last year, so 2015. And it's just, friendships like this are fun. You don't see each other maybe more than once or twice a year, but you get to see each other on Facebook and kind of build a friendship that way. So go for it, Laura.
Thanks, Mary Jane. Yes, so I have 4 kids and I homeschool. My husband is a full-time martial artist instructor and owns and runs a karate school full-time. And when I first heard about Plexus, I had some questions, but one of my biggest was, I am super busy. Where is the time going to come? And one of my best friends, actually the one I'm in her daughter's room right now visiting her, she is one of those super organized super moms, and she, totally unrelated to Plexus, we were talking about time management and keeping the house clean, because that's one area that I'm not super strong in. And she said something to me that has stuck with me for a couple of years now, and it was right around that time that I was deciding if I could do Plexus or not. And she said, people make time for what is important to them. And that really, really stuck with me. And so when I made that choice that Plexus was important to me, that's when I made the choice that I was going to make time for it. So what had to go was movies at night sometimes. Or sometimes I still watch, but kind of work on my phone on the side if it's important to my husband that I'm there with him, because that's how we do date nights. I also gave up scrolling Facebook just for fun. Now I use it intentionally to reach out and connect with friends, not always about Plexus, but to invest in other people's lives. I cut down a lot of things that were just time wasters because this was important to me. So I also am one of those moms that you actually probably laugh if you know me and you're seeing that I'm on a call about time management and having it all together, because I don't. But I love to be flexible. I love to have a plan, but still change if I need to. And one of the things that has helped me is the Erin Condren planner that I think Jennifer showed you guys. I have one of those, and I have to admit, I don't use it every week. There are some weeks that are completely blank, and I look back through and I go, oh, I didn't use it. But when I do use it, it makes a big difference. I like to schedule out what's going on. I use the calendar in my phone to make appointments and see what's going on with my kids. My husband and I try to connect the night before so I know what his schedule is, if he's doing private lessons or things, so that I can gauge that I need to be present when he's home. And then I know when he leaves. My kids are 12 down to almost 3, and we homeschool. And so I just wanted to give you a real quick rundown of what my day generally looks like when we're at home. So thanks to Plexus, I wake up energetic and excited to face the day around 7:30. And I'm still in bed, and I did not start doing this in the beginning, but now I have my phone close enough that I can get it quietly and still be in bed. And I work from my phone from about 7 to 8 when my kids start crawling into bed with us. My husband works nights or evenings, and so mornings is our family time. So as soon as they crawl into bed, my phone goes back on the nightstand. But I get about 45 minutes to an hour, and that's when I'll post training for my team. That's when I connect with friends, private messages. I sometimes check my customer situations and just kind of get the day started. And I found that's really beneficial because then I'm starting the day off with a plan and not just kind of easing into the day groggy. So I'll do that. Then I put the phone down and we get up, we have breakfast. In the beginning, I was making breakfast still and all the meals, but now my girls are 12 and 11. And after convention this year, we sat down and decided to pull in the kids a little more. They're old enough to already, I mean, they love cooking and participating anyway, but giving them that responsibility has been really good, especially with school starting. So the girls make breakfast. They take turns making breakfast. They get that going while I get laundry. Like Mary Jean said, I like to do a couple loads a day. We live out in the woods in the country, and we go through a lot of laundry. So I probably do 2 to 3 loads a day. And then it goes on the couch. And so my day, we start breakfast, then the kids do one chore. And that might be filling the dishwasher, doing the dishes, folding laundry, something that participates to keeping the house running. And then we sit down and start school about 9 o'clock. And while they are doing school, I'm helping some. But sometimes I also have my phone next to me. And in the middle of them working on their math or whatever it is, I can also be answering messages. And we do that until about noon. Then my daughters also again make lunch sometimes. And then from lunch, then they go play. And then we have quiet time. And I don't know if you guys do this, but this is something my mom started. I'm one of 9 kids as well. I was also homeschooled. And when I was a teenager, my mom started it, and she called it her for sanity time. And I have continued that practice. So when my kids, about 1 o'clock, everybody has quiet time. I don't call it nap time anymore because my girls and older kids are too old. They all go to their rooms. their bed, whatever it is, everybody finds a quiet spot and they can do a craft, they can read, they can finish up school if they weren't done, but they can't talk. So it's everybody's time to rest, and I get to catch up on Plexus. When I was little, or when my kids were little, that was my time to go eat chocolate or sit and call a friend. And now sometimes I'll still eat a chocolate, but I don't have that craving anymore. I just enjoy it. But I get more stuff done during that hour or so. And then the kids get up again, and I'm present again with their lives. We live near a river, so my kids get to go outside and play in the water. Thank goodness it's close enough to the house. I can sit on the bank and still keep tabs on Facebook or connecting with people. And then at some point through that day, I'm doing the Instapot, which I just got, and I'm super excited about. You guys should all get one if you don't have one. That's network marketing right there. And I'm not getting a cut. But that stuff has been fabulous, doing a slow cooker or pre-cooking a meal that's extra big so that you have 2 meals out of it. Sometimes I'll cook double the meat and use it in 2 different recipes. We'll do taco salad one night and then make burritos the next, or things like that just save time. And then my kids go to bed, and then in the evenings my husband doesn't get home till late, so I have another hour or so that I will sit and participate again in communicating with my team. And it doesn't always look like that. We're a very flexible family. We have a lot of things going, but that's a general outline of my day. My biggest tip that I would give to any mom who's going, where's my time, is first of all, you make time for what's important to you. And second of all, be flexible, and it doesn't always get done. But if you can time block and just give yourself some goals that you're going to at least do a 15-minute here, when can you squeeze in 3 to 4 15 minutes a day? And then some days you can get more done, and other days just a couple 15-minute blocks. But that little time block where you can sit down and be intentional about what you're doing is very helpful for me. Oh, one more tip before I go and introduce Brenda. Something that I picked up, and I don't even know where this was from, but this was from the very beginning. I started back, I think, when I was a silver. It might have been Victor and Antonio. And I have a little sticky notepad right next to my bed. And when I go to bed at night, I have a pen and I write down 5 things that I need to do the next day. Sometimes it's not Plexus, but usually I try to keep it something on Plexus. Either watch the Zoom that happened that day that I wasn't able to catch, or connect with Susie because she was asking me about Plexus, or follow up with so-and-so who got Plexus last week. 5 things that I can be intentional about, so that when I wake up the next morning, I have a plan already started, and 5 things isn't overwhelming. And I usually do way more than 5 the next day, but it just gets that ball rolling when I wake up with a purpose. So with that, I'm going to introduce Brenda, the fabulous mom with a million kids, and let her share her tips, because I'm excited to hear them.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking, what more do I even have to say or offer anyone after you guys? I'm really, really impressed. I feel like you covered so much. People are probably already blessed so much. I think I could pass on this. But it is a subject I'm passionate about. And FYI, I was very focused on managing my home and being very purposeful with our routine every day before Plexus. And so if anybody wants to know the secret to my time management, it was long established before Plexus. I had that advantage. Maybe it's because I wanted a big family. We were raising a big family. I knew I had to get control of my time. And so that was all in place before Plexus. So I want you mamas who have little ones just starting to maybe really get a handle on your routine to definitely not compare yourself to me, or compare yourself to a mama with older ones, or someone who just is doing things different than you. I want you to, first of all, take everything that we say as tips, but do not put yourself on a guilt trip or let anyone else do that. I really was encouraged when Laura shared that she actually works on her phone for an hour in the morning when she wakes up, because I've heard so many people say, oh, you just shouldn't look at it first thing. You should focus on your family first thing. And you didn't. Well, it works different for everybody. I have to do some of that first thing in my morning too, because when I get down and start with my family, I have to focus on them for 2 to 3, sometimes 4 hours, depending how my morning goes. I can't get back to my work. So things would be completely neglected till well after noon if I didn't take a little time while I have it before my little ones wake up. So it's going to look different for all of you. Okay, so some of the things that the girl said, I guess I want to just validate and stress that I feel have been the most important for me. And first of all, if you're serious about this, like Laura said, and some of the others touched on this too, you are going to do what is important to you. For us, it was a life and death situation almost to work this business. We sat down and told the family, this is our answer that we've been praying for. This is going to give us space instead of being so crowded like we are in our house. We're going to be able to fulfill these dreams. We will be living not under the stress of debt anymore. And that was what is important to us. But if that's not that severely important to you, then don't beat yourself up if you aren't growing at the rate that you want to, or that you're not getting as much done in Plexus every day as you want. Your family still comes first. For us, it was a priority as a family. So see, that again could be different for you. So we were all okay with sacrifice. One clue for you guys is to know how happy your family is with what you're doing is those little hints that they'll drop. Oh, Mom, not again. You mean you have to do Plexus? I mean, if you're hearing that, then take a look at it. I can honestly say that first year or two, I rarely heard that from my family because we were all on board. And one thing I learned to do is to not do my work in the evenings as much as possible. That was a time when it worked for everybody to schedule calls and schedule Zooms because everybody's off of work. And so I was having some days, some weeks I had something going every single evening. And the family finally said, Mom, we just don't even see you evenings. That's when we're all here together. That's family time. We've got to change that. And so I've really rarely do something in the evening. It has to be pretty important. We usually work that out. But again, just what works for your family. But for us, it was sacrifice. It was freedom is what we were after. And freedom does not come without sacrifice. We gave up a lot of things. One of the main things I personally gave up that was hard on me was not having a 100% organized house all the time. I loved I thrived on going through closets periodically and keeping everything up to date. That is so gone, and I don't even care because I chose that doesn't even have to be a stress for me. I'm looking forward to moving into our barn house so I can go through things again. But that was something that got put on the back burner. There's a lot of stuff stashing up and getting moldy or whatever, and I just don't care about it because that is not my priority right now. So a couple little practical tips that I want to leave for you yet, besides what Shelly said about designating out jobs to your kids. Come on, people, you've got to do that. If they're there with you all day or when they come home from school, they can help out. I mean, Plexus or not, that should be happening. And then hire as soon as you can. I did that from pretty much the beginning because I was so serious about this. I mean, it was one of the best things I've ever done. It frees up your brain so much. But get stuff on paper. You can do the Erin Condren planner if that works for you. You can just do a regular old notebook, but have something where you're getting stuff out of your brain. I actually have a reminder app on my phone that has saved my hide. Like, I would have missed so many Zooms and calls if I didn't have a reminder buzzing at my ears because I get that busy and that focus, and I would miss it on a paper. So that's one thing that has really, really helped me appear to have it all together. No, I feel bad if I forget a call or a Zoom. And then as far as when my first couple years, I always used those forms that we had, and I don't see them floating around anymore, but the one was called a Perfect 10, and the other was called Power Plan. Now I'm seeing some new ones pop up that are awesome. Wendy Larson just recently posted one that is great. do have something like that though, to keep you focused and purposeful in your work, so that you're not, by the end of the week, you go, oh, what did I even get done? You had a plan, and so that's what you got done. Yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as practical. What works for me. You guys wouldn't even want to come see what my office looks like and what my organization looks like, because you'd probably go, what? That wouldn't even work for me. So just seriously, do what works for you, and keep trying to find something new. If what you're doing isn't working, try somebody's idea, but don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work, and try the next idea. And again, grace above all. If you're in Plexus, this should be fun. It shouldn't be stressful. If you're starting to feel too much stress, it's time to look at what you could do different. So anyway, I'm going to turn the time over to Clarita, the beautiful mama here that put her baby to sleep while we were talking.
Oh, wow. This was so amazing, you all. I just feel like I learned so much, and I had a baby in my arms the whole time, so I couldn't scribble notes, but I'm going to be watching the recording and writing things down. But what I loved about hearing from all of you all is that everybody has something different that works for them. Like, not everybody does it the same way, and that's okay. Like, you heard from someone who, maybe does most things on her phone, and maybe someone else does most things on the computer, or someone finds something that maybe the morning works best for them to work, or someone else finds it late at night is best. So I just hope that you can find tips that you're like, okay, that I think is something I can like grab onto, or the crock pot meal idea, or whatever. Like, just I love what you said, Brenda, not just beat yourself up because you're not doing it identically how we're doing it, but just take the tips that we're offering, not as this is how everybody needs to do it, but this is what we found that works for us. Maybe you'll find something that can work for you too. So this is so good, and I feel like I'm really learning so much about time management just from listening to you ladies talk. So I have 4 kids, ages 5 months. Jack just turned 5 months, to my oldest just turned 9. So we're also homeschooling, and I'll just give you a brief rundown of our day, and then a few tips that I found that work for me. So I try to get up before my kids, which isn't super early. I set my alarm for 6:30, and I snooze. So I'm not one of those fast wakers. I need to let it, wake me slow. But I get up before my kids. I have chosen not to get any notifications on my phone with any social media. So I don't get email. I don't get Facebook messages. I don't get any notifications. And basically I do that so I can block off my time to where when I'm with my family, I'm with them and I don't have my phone constantly beeping. I know that doesn't work for everyone. That's just what works for me, to where I'm not distracted. So when I get up, what works for me is just to spend some time in quiet time. I don't check my phone. I don't check my messages. I just spend some time in quiet time, kind of rest my soul for the day, quiet my heart, ask the Lord to, oopsie, somebody's not happy. You're waking up a little too early. Oh, dear. Okay, this is the flexible mom right here, right? Oh, baby, it's okay. And then after I have my time alone, my quiet time, then I will open up my phone, respond to any messages that came in through the night that I need to respond back to. I also use an Erin Condren planner, which is amazing. I have to write my stuff down on paper. Otherwise, I feel like my brain is on my paper. If I lose my paper and my planner, I feel like I lose my brain. So it is so important. I just feel like I can jot anything down and I don't have to try to remember it in my head. So whether you use a planner or a notebook or a phone, just get it out of your mind. Write it down somehow. That has been huge for me. And then I can come back when I have time to work. I have time to go and just quickly work without having to try to scramble and be like, what was I supposed to do? Who was I supposed to work with today? What do I have planned? Laura, what you said about having a plan the night before, I do that too. And that is so huge for me to start my day just feeling like, okay, this is my plan for the day. And I love these ladies who are all believers in Jesus. And I feel like that's such a huge support to have. We want to keep Jesus first in our lives, and then our families, and then our businesses. And I feel like that's totally possible with Plexus. So after I do that, then I wake the kids, breakfast, and school. So I don't really check my phone much at all during the morning just because of our school schedule. This is my first year having a baby while homeschooling. So I feel like we're just still learning the ropes with homeschooling a newborn. And then lunch, and then quiet time. And y'all, quiet time is my sanity saver. We have to have quiet time. So my girls don't nap, my little guys do. But that's my time to really focus and work on Plexus for a couple of hours, where I, like now doing a Zoom, I'll do phone calls. Then I will even train myself to like learn product knowledge, business training, read a book, something that's business building, contact people. But afternoon is my main work time, and then evening is my family priority time. My husband works a long day. I don't see him till he gets home from work at about supper time. So from supper to bedtime is where we have family time, and I try to keep that pretty focused on family time. And but just a few tips. So that's a day. That's kind of our basic day, and of course it varies from day to day. Sometimes it's busy. I might only have 15 minutes to work the business, but I work what I can do, and I work it from my phone if I'm gone. It's just so much flexibility as a mom, which I love. But a few tips that I would say: set some goals for yourself that are long-term goals. Like if you're a busy mama, don't set something for yourself that you think, oh man, like I can do this for 2 days, but I cannot do this for the next couple of years. Like set realistic goals that say, okay, you know what? If I do my IPA, which is contacting 2 people, posting on social media, like set a realistic goal for yourself, but set a goal and make sure that it's something you can do long term and not just get burned out after 2 weeks because, oh man, that's not, and we can't do that in our family. So set a realistic goal. And then also cut things from your life that may be time wasters. Like that will look different for everybody. Some people, yeah. But for me, it was, I cut a lot. I pretty much never watch movies anymore, which is sad. Like a few good movies now and then, a few BBCs or something. But I pretty much cut movies. I cut mindless Facebook scrolling. And like some of the others said, I use it for intentional connecting in relationships. Not necessarily Plexus, but intentional relationship building and using it as an intentional time rather than just wasting an hour or two just scrolling through Instagram or Facebook. But whatever it is for you, evaluate your life and just see, okay, is there something? I mean, maybe you're a fabulous time manager and time wasting isn't something that you have to deal with. But for a lot of us, we do have to see, what can I cut? What can I do different in my day to make time for this? And also, you've seen us all say, we don't do it all. How do we do it all? We don't do it all. We might ask for help with someone else to help with our kids for an afternoon. I've started doing that one afternoon a week, getting a babysitter in. She watches my kids, takes them to the park, does fun crafts with them, whatever. And that's my focus time to work for a couple of uninterrupted hours, and my kids are in good hands. My husband is also amazing, and we also sat down at the beginning of the business and said, okay, we want to do this. How can we set a realistic goal for us, and how can we sacrifice well to where family isn't neglected, but to where there was a quote we had heard long before Plexus, and some of you have heard me say this already, but it comes from Dave Ramsey: live like no one else so that one day you can live like no one else. So that to me means there are sacrifices in my day. My time is very it has little tight pockets through the day where 4 kids, homeschooling, we're busy, but we're sacrificing for a good reason. And that's so one day we can live in financial freedom, and to where we're not stressed financially, and where we can prepare for our future, where we can walk forward into what God has for us financially. So those are just a few of my tips. I just feel like everyone else was so amazing in what they had to say. I feel like I wouldn't have even had to say anything. But I just hope this was encouraging to you who were watching, that you can pick out some things that are encouraging to you all, and to help you see, you know what, the business is possible for you. Whether you are a stay-at-home mama, whether you're a working mama, whether you're a single woman, wherever you find yourself, I just hope that you were blessed and inspired today. All of these women who are speaking have teams of over 300 people, some up to Brenda and Shelly, several thousand people under them. And so this, like, time management is a huge deal. And to learn to do it well, to learn to live well in the middle of it, is very possible. So I just hope that that you all enjoy this. I know I did. I love this, and I am already excited. I can't wait to watch it again and just hear everybody again. So thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great Thursday. Happy September.